Hello, I'm Get the Cans, and I work in concert with Jerry Armstrong. What's that mean? It means I basically talk out against Scientology. So I guess I'm breaking the law. Breaking the law. But I'm not really breaking the law because the injunction, doesn't actually apply to me, even if it says it can. It's overly vague. Really, I mean, the amount of money I would owe them if it was actually legitimate would be basically $50,000 times the number of videos I made, which is like, I think 29, so about $1.45 million. So, yeah, they're not seeing a damn cent of that. That's nonsense. But, yeah, first thing I'd like to say is happy anniversary. Oh, shit. Happy anniversary. Yeah, that's it. That's quite hard to say when you don't have something to read it off of. But anyways, yeah, after protesting for a while, we've been out here for about a year now, and we've faced off against all kinds of desperate acts, and things are starting to finally starting to cool down. What I mean by that, what I mean is that Scientologists are getting less and less creative. Not that they were very creative to begin with, considering the fact that the creativity pretty much gets beaten out of them at every turn. From what I understand, they're not even allowed to make so much as make a joke about Scientology without being sec checked, or which is basically interrogated if you're unaware of what a sec check within Scientology is. Taking you into a room and damaging you psychologically until they break you, and then they build you back up to be a robot. And on another subject of being a robot, I really do think that that it was probably put best in the words of this one video. This guy, I'll provide a link, whatever. And he basically said that they're robots, and I do agree. Now, somebody out there, I'm not sure who, said that that people on the outside were able to become robots too, or just as robotic, which is yes and no. Doing something automatically and kind of having a regular routine that you are part of is not necessarily robotic. To be a robot, I would have to say that you would have to be generally emotionless. And that's one of my main complaints that I have within Scientology, is that they make a person, they just take away their critical thinking, and they take away the fact that Scientologists aren't really allowed to feel anything. They're not allowed to smile, they're not allowed to react to anything, they're not allowed to feel, and that's robotic. You can't. I think even in one of his tapes, L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, even says that you can't be good and be right at the same time. So in order to get people to go along with that line of thinking, they have to stop them from feeling bad about things that are wrong. And then when they stop feeling bad about things that are wrong, then they usually either have to adopt some kind of some sort of justification for what they're doing. And usually it's somewhere along the lines of Scientology is right because it's helping clear the planet. It's like, like what? Like clear the planet as in control the place like a freaking prison house. Everybody in their cells when they're supposed to be. You step out of line, you get dragged outside and shot to death. Oh, no, wait, that's only if you're wielding swords. But whatever. Anyways, one does not simply swords their way into Scientology Celebrity Center. So, but I disagree with the idea that people on the outside are robotic. Now, people can be robotic, but the thing is, people still react with emotions. If you show somebody who is in a sort of a robotic type of state in their lives, that they can still react with emotion. They can still think, even though they may be caught in a rut as far as their life goes. They may not necessarily be robotic. But when you go inside, it's discouraged. You can't pass any of their courses and become a good OT if you can show emotion, right? Even with their communications course and confrontation, you're supposed to, or at least from what I understand, you're supposed to have the ability to be able to calmly, just uncomfortably, just sit there while somebody throws insults at you and just not think. And I tried to do this kind of thing, but really, the only way to succeed at something like that is to simply not listen to what the person has to say, which doesn't surprise me in the least, because, I mean, talking to people like that is like talking to a brick wall, except that the brick wall, as I've said before, is a lot more receptive because it actually sits there and listens, as opposed to Scientology, where they just kind of reverse listen and just kind of completely, not only that, completely ignore what you say, but also come up with their own conclusions as to what you really said. Those conversations are really confusing. So, but yeah, I noticed that there is a certain person or persons on a YouTube account currently trying to say that the message that Jerry Armstrong is, that Jerry Armstrong is trying to, where he's speaking to David Miscavige, or supposed to be speaking to David Miscavige directly through his YouTube video, to say that all he's saying is these assertions is like these L. Ron Hubbard's admissions or whatever it is all a bunch of assertions. But the thing is, I mean, you're trying to ask for proof from somebody who is the proof. It's kind of stupid. It's just like any other argument that I've ever had with Scientologists, saying that, where's all this proof? You're just getting it from the internet. It's like, these people that put the stuff on the internet, those are our sources. Court documents, personal witness testimony. I mean, while it may be kind of hard to believe one person when they say something, when you have that guy and her and that guy over there and that guy over there and that police officer and all these respected, court officials who have to have years of respect and legitimacy before they can even get into positions like that, or at least most of them do, then it's a little hard to say otherwise. I mean, really, you can't get any more close than that. If you can't accept court documents, if you can't accept personal witness testimony, if you can't accept even third-hand information, which I can understand is a little weak at times, but if you can't even accept any of those three things, then what do you have? Your own personal information. And when you have that personal information, I guess it only helps you, because if you try to tell somebody else, then that's you being a personal witness telling somebody else that, oh, you might be lying. It's like, no. When I see something happen, and then somebody else sees that thing happen, and somebody else sees that thing happen, and it's like we all see the same thing, and we have no reason to tell the same story. I mean, really, how much closer to the truth can you get? You can't.